my gosh. Whew, it's been a hot minute. I wish this camera had that like wireless monitoring system that this guy has, where I can just like hold up my phone and be like, yep, that's in shot, you know, or that's in focus, you know. Oh my gosh. So I've been playing with these two cameras for this week because I have a shoot with both of them, and the Komodo is, my gosh, it's my new favorite toy. It just, oh, it's so different than the Helium. It boots up, it's ready to shoot like that, which if you're not shooting Red, you're like, well, of course, wouldn't it just be ready automatically? Like a C300 is ready automatically, but no, it's not ready automatically. These cameras, these old ones, the Helium, oh, they take a good like 10 minutes to warm up. But yeah, today I want to talk about the Komodo. It's pretty great. That looks so good. I'm gonna record a little bit with this. What are we in? There we go. There we go. So you can see the footage from the Komodo here. You can see the camera that's filming me right now. Boom. Here I am. Whoa, I'm gonna turn that off to save some battery. A couple of things I want to talk about that I like about the Komodo today. First is it feels like Red has finally locked down the form factor. I really like this new form factor. It's just a cube, you know, it's really simple. The RF mount is a game changer. Being able to use the Canon variable ND filter on this is so much nicer than screwing on one of these filters. I've got a Prism Effects filter right here, and these are great. You know, they look good. They're not too much color shift ever, but it's a pain in the butt to, like, I have got like a step up ring or a step down ring in this case on this guy, and it's frustrating because I have these like bigger lenses. These are the DZO Pictor zooms, and they're 86mm threads, and not needing to do this for your really nice camera and just like throw in a variable is so nice, because I don't always want to rock like a map box or something if I'm just moving faster. I don't need to do this, because this one, boom, it's ready to go. It's more ergonomic. The weight has a lot to do with it. The cube here is 2.1 pounds. These guys are at least 4 pounds for just the brain. Plus you have like the ports in the back, which is actually an expander module, where there's no expander module to get SDI on this guy, which I like that it just comes with the port I need, which is SDI. It's got wireless video transmission. You can add that to this one. I believe it has it built in, but I've never been able to get it to work right. It's got a door, off the shelf media. You know, I can go buy this at like B&H pretty easily. I love this little handle here. It's nice because I can actually adjust this. You know, it's got a rosette there, so if I'm gonna do like a top down, you know, a low shot, I can kind of adjust this, you know, do that, and it's still pretty ergonomic. Whereas this guy, you're just killing your wrist because it's all, you know, it's locked in one spot specifically for handheld style stuff. This is a small HD monitor. This is the small HD, which one is this? This is the Focus Pro OLED. It's not my favorite monitor. It's a little dark for shooting outside. I really prefer like a 1500 nit monitor for going outside. I don't know how many nits it is, but it wasn't bright enough. And I think it's one of the reasons is because it is an OLED, and OLEDs typically don't get bright enough yet. You do need a monitor for this camera to shoot. There is a top LCD, and you can use it to record. And this LCD monitor is pretty bright actually, but it's not really big enough to get critical focus on, because it's only, you know, what is this? 3 inches tops. Yeah, it's not very big. I like the codecs. I like that they simplified the codecs on here. You don't get as many options. You can't say, hey, we're gonna shoot 22:1, or hey, we're gonna shoot 3:1, because they simplified it. So it's HQ, MQ, and LQ. But I was doing the math, and even LQ is like 900 megabits a second. So it's still a good file size. It's not low quality by any standard. Okay, those pros, cons of this camera. This is not This is not a high-speed camera. The full sensor readout on this guy tops out at like 39.5 frames a second, I guess. I think it advertises like 40 frames a second. I really like the standard 24 on here, but if you need to shoot 60 frames a second, you have to crop in on this sensor, which I really hate. But if you're comparing this camera to, say, a Gemini or a Helium, those are fantastic for slow motion because you can crank those up to 120 frames a second using the whole sensor. The Dragon X will do, I think it's 120 FPS in 5K using the whole sensor, which is pretty nice, and then 100 frames per second in 6K, which is fantastic. This guy tops out at 40, so you know, less than half. So it's not a high-speed camera. This is, Red wanted it to be a B camera, and they've kind of succeeded in that, making it it's a non-specialty camera. It's not for high speed, but this is definitely capable of being your A camera. I don't like that this camera is really hard for people to get because it's so popular. Some of the schools that I work with and consult for are looking to get cameras, and I often recommend either the Komodo or the Canon C70 because they're both around the same price range that schools are looking to buy cameras at. But this camera is so hard to get, you know, right now it's November. They wouldn't get this camera till probably February or March next year. So they don't like that. So they go for like a C70 or maybe, I don't know what else is easy to get right now. There aren't many cameras that are easy to get right now, and that's kind of, that's just the way it is right now. Hopefully that'll get better. But I've got my hands on one right now, and I really like it. It's amazing. So I went out and shot with this a little bit this morning on a walk, and I had my 24-70 on it with image stabilization, and I really like the image. I think it could definitely use, you know, if you have a heavier lens on it, it's nice to get, you know, that heavier, steadier camera. Because this camera is so light, it tends to have some of that small camera shake. And while there is no rolling shutter because of that global shutter on there, it does still give you that small camera shake, which I really don't like. Kind of that, you know, jitter, like the, you know, really quick like iPhone wobble. And I don't like that because it looks very unprofessional. So putting bigger lenses on it like these DZO Pictor zooms is really great. You know, getting a base plate on it, you know, maybe 2 batteries. I've got the 1 battery on here right now. This more built out camera, this is a good weight. This is actually gonna give you pretty stable footage as long as you're on like the wider, like 20mm focal length. Once you get to about, you know, 55mm, there is a little bit of shake, but you can always kind of smooth that over a little bit in post. That has been just kind of my overview and what I like and what I don't like about the Komodo. I'm hoping there's more firmware updates. I wish this could record ProRes 4444 in 4K on this camera. I think that'll be a really cool feature if they added that. I would definitely use it. If you're doing something specific like multicam work, using Red code isn't always the best option because you don't always have hardware acceleration for that codec. Whereas ProRes, with all these new MacBooks that came out with the M1 Pro and the M1 Max, they have hardware accelerators for encoding and decoding. So I would be more likely to shoot ProRes on this camera. If Red ever sees this, you know, if you can add ProRes 4x4 to this camera, it would be much appreciated. I know a lot of people would really like that. That's been it for this video. My name is Brenton, and I want you to keep creating. Bye.